Long before shoppers lined up at dawn and carts clattered like restless horses in a metallic stampede, the Friday after Thanksgiving carried a different sort of electricity. The world knew nothing of flash sales or doorbuster deals. Yet the day already had a pulse, a crowded rhythm, a sense of strain that would slowly ferment into something legendary. Our story begins in Philadelphia in the middle of the 20th century, when autumn chilled the brick streets and the city braced itself for the annual Army-Navy football game. Fans poured in from every corner of the region, filling trains and buses until they groaned like tired animals. By the time Thanksgiving passed, the city was already swelling. Then the real trouble began. The Friday that followed became a carnival of chaos. Shoppers sought early holiday bargains, while football crowds surged toward the stadium. Police officers found themselves trapped in an endless cycle of directing traffic, breaking up quarrels, calming panicked store owners, and rescuing lost children who wandered through the crowds like startled birds. The city gridlocked from sunrise to well past midnight. Officers dreaded this particular Friday. They could not request time off. They could not escape the noise or the stampede of people. In their frustration, they gave the day a name that carried the weight of exhaustion and dark humor. They called it Black Friday. The name spread first as a whisper among the Philadelphia police force, then as a grumble among store clerks and bus drivers, then as a headline in local papers. At that time, the phrase was not a celebration. It was not a symbol of savings or prosperity. It was a warning. It described a day when the city felt smothered by crowds and tension, and the delicate order of daily life nearly collapsed under its own weight. As the phrase Black Friday slipped from police circles into the vocabulary of shopkeepers, a curious tension formed between fear and opportunity. Store owners in Philadelphia understood why authorities used the term. The crowds did not merely shop. They surged. They pressed into stores with the chaotic force of a river after a storm. Shelves rattled. Lines curled around aisles like serpents made of restless bodies. Clerks shouted instructions that dissolved into the roar of voices. Yet something else was happening beneath the surface. Despite the turmoil, the tills filled at a pace that startled even seasoned merchants. People arrived in droves, shaking off the last of the Thanksgiving feast with a hunger for early holiday purchases. Toys vanished from displays before clerks could restock them. Jackets, watches, radios, and cooking pots flew from the shelves. By evening, many stores were nearly picked clean. Merchants recognized a paradox in this unruly day. It drained their stamina, but filled their pockets. Still, they hated the name Black Friday, which suggested gloom, danger, and disorder. Some business leaders gathered to discuss how they might change the public image of the day. They imagined banners with cheerful colors and newspaper ads that described a festive shopping celebration. They even attempted to rename the day as Big Friday, in hopes that customers would adopt a brighter association. But the public held firmly to the original phrase. Newspapers found it too catchy to abandon. Reporters felt its drama. Shoppers repeated it with a mix of dread and excitement. The name Black Friday stayed alive because it captured something raw and honest about the experience. It told the truth of a day when commerce and chaos danced together in a strange and unsteady embrace. Over time, that unsteady dance would shift again and shape the future of retail in ways no one in Philadelphia could yet imagine. While Philadelphia wrestled with the unruly spirit of Black Friday, a quieter transformation was taking root in boardrooms and back offices across the country. Accountants pored over thick ledgers filled with ink that recorded the pulse of the year. For months, many retailers operated in the red, a color that carried the sting of loss and the burden of caution. The early part of the year often moved slowly. Warm weather months drifted along with modest sales. Autumn brought a bit more energy, but still many stores struggled to break even. Then came the holiday season. As November ended, the flow of customers changed dramatically. People shopped for gifts with a purposeful eagerness that merchants had learned to depend on. The Friday after Thanksgiving stood at the entrance of that season like a gatekeeper. On this day, sales surged in quantities that startled even those who thought they had seen everything retail could offer. By the late 1980s, retailers seized an opportunity to reshape the image of Black Friday. If the public insisted on using the name, then merchants would give it a new story. They explained that black referred not to despair, but to profit. They spoke of ledgers where losses were marked in red ink, while gains were written in black. The Friday after Thanksgiving, they said, was the moment when many businesses moved out of the red and into the black. The idea spread with remarkable ease. It appealed to shoppers who enjoyed feeling part of a national surge of prosperity. It softened the rough edges of the older meaning while lifting the day into a kind of celebratory myth. Even though historians knew the explanation was a later invention, the narrative stuck. It provided a brighter costume for a day once known for disorder and strain, and it prepared the ground for an era where Black Friday would become something far larger than a local headache in a single city. As the new interpretation of Black Friday took hold, the day began to swell beyond its Philadelphia origins. Retailers across the United States sensed an open door and walked through it with ambitious plans. They created elaborate displays that shimmered with holiday lights. They prepared special sales that promised fleeting treasures. They trained employees for long hours and restless crowds. In many cities, lines formed outside stores before the sky even considered turning pale with morning. Television stations filmed eager customers camped out in folding chairs that sagged under the weight of anticipation. Newspapers printed stories about shoppers who mapped out their routes with military-level precision. The nation seemed to fall into a shared rhythm. Families finished their Thanksgiving meals on Thursday night and soon after began to discuss where they would go the next morning. Some viewed the day as a challenge. Others saw it as an adventure wrapped in the scent of cinnamon and cold air. The energy of Black Friday spread far beyond retail shelves. It became a cultural marker that signaled the arrival of the holiday season. Yes, the crowds could still turn unruly. Yes, the competition for limited goods sometimes sparked tension. But the day evolved into something closer to a festival. People laughed in lines. They exchanged stories with strangers who waited beside them. Children tugged at their parents' sleeves with impatience and excitement. For many families, the tradition became as familiar as carving the turkey or watching the parade. Media outlets joined the celebration. They reported on record-breaking sales, unexpected surges in foot traffic, and quirky human moments that made the day feel vibrant. The phrase Black Friday no longer belonged to police officers or frustrated clerks. It had become a national ritual shaped by expectation and collective enthusiasm. As the 21st century unfolded, Black Friday stood at a crossroads. The familiar scenes of long lines and crowded aisles still existed, yet a quiet shift was stirring beneath the surface. Computers hummed in homes across the country. Phones began to glow with the bright confidence of early mobile commerce. A new kind of shopper emerged, one who preferred the comfort of a warm blanket to the chill of waiting in a parking lot before sunrise. Retailers sensed the change. They extended their sales into the online world. Websites became digital storefronts filled with blinking banners and countdown clocks that encouraged urgency. People no longer needed to battle for parking spaces or weave through seas of bodies. They could claim the same deals from a couch, a bus seat, or even a quiet office cubicle. This evolution did not end Black Friday. Instead, it expanded it. The day grew into a season that lasted more than 24 hours. It blended with the rise of Cyber Monday, another creation of the digital marketplace. Some companies launched sales on Thanksgiving evening, while others stretched their promotions across entire weeks. The single day of frenzy became a constellation of events, each designed to capture the attention of a world that never stopped scrolling. Yet the heart of Black Friday remained surprisingly constant. It still carried the memory of crowded Philadelphia streets, of weary police officers, of merchants who watched the registers fill with startling speed. It also carried the polished narrative of profits written in black ink. The day became a tapestry of its past and its present, woven from truth, invention, commerce, and tradition. Today, Black Friday stands as a reflection of the culture that shaped it, a reminder that history often evolves in unexpected ways. A simple phrase that once described disorder has transformed into a global signal for anticipation, celebration, and the restless dance of modern commerce itself.